Hello, everyone, and welcome to my corner of the universe. If you caught the last 30 seconds, you'll realize that I hadn't put my mic on. Really excellent job, Joe. This is what we do when we're doing it live. So, let's try again. My corner of the universe today is wet and quite cold and not very nice. Still have a cough, and I have a very nice cup of herbal tea. But just in case that doesn't work or suffice, I thought it might be time for a glass of Christmas port. Cheersy, Kim. Fan. So, here at Christmas Central, in my house anyway, tomorrow we start Christmas baking. Yes. So, bread, coffee cake, cheese ball. What else am I making? Cookies. I'll be making something called treasure balls, which are the simplest recipe in the world, which I may give you some point in time, I may not. We'll see how we go. But they just have they have chocolate chips that have been ground up so that they very much melt in your mouth, and they're little small things with powdered sugar coating. Excuse me. Yep, that cough is just in there for the duration. I'm thinking I'm about to give it a name because it's been around for so long. I have no idea what we're going to cough. Anyway, back to it. So, I was going to tell you a bit about the coffee cake that I'm making and the breads I'm making. So, I will be doing a loaf of the New York bakeries where you only use a quarter teaspoon of yeast, which is brilliant, and then you cook it in a cast iron pot. You don't need it. You just mix it all up, all the ingredients up, leave it for 18 to 24 hours or so, and then you bake it. And it comes out absolutely amazing. Best thing I've seen in a long time. There will be pictures eventually of all of this. And then I'll be making my grandmother's bread recipe, which was probably her mother's or her grandmother's recipe. It's very much a family thing. All of my aunts made bread very, very, very well, particularly Pat, Barb, and my mom. So this is going to be exceedingly short today because no one should have to listen to that. But here we go. So we're going to make a batch that has 2 loaves. One loaf I'm going to make into cinnamon bread, which is just yummy. It's a really good time of the year, and it toasts up and makes the house smell so amazing because you have all of the cinnamon in it. And the second thing we do with it is you turn it into a coffee cake and it has a little crumb topping, which is very nice. But then it has a whipped cream or a cream and sugary filling, which I don't think a lot of bakers would really appreciate, but it is just the yummiest thing. It may not be the most wonderful or best technique for doing it, but it's just scrummy. We only had it a couple of times a year, Easter and Christmas being the main times. Very occasionally would have it out of that time, but not very often. And then I need to go to the store this week and pick up some Polish sausage, some smoked Polish sausage, because I like that best. And that was the other thing we always had on Christmas morning was some Polish sausage and our breads or whatever, because it was tradition. Now, my dad was a funeral director, and he and the boys from the funeral home would always come over on Christmas morning if they were working and have Polish sausage and coffee cakes and breads and things. And it was kind of a nice start to their day too. Lovely bunch of people. We'll talk about that part of my life at a much later date. But cookies. My mom made so many different kinds of cookies. We had thumbprint cookies, Spritz, chocolate chip, of course, which I now make as chocolate chip cookie bars because basically I'm just lazy. And something called treasure balls. Treasure balls have that little melty in your mouth quality to them when covered with powdered sugar, and they're they're kind of shortbready feel, but not quite. So I'll be doing a few cookies, probably making some ginger biscuits. And they all freeze as well, so I can just stick anything that I don't use into the freezer, and then as friends come over either through the holidays or at a later point in the year, in the next couple of months, I just take them out of the freezer as I'm brewing the coffee. So there'll always be something kind of nice to come to. Oh, it has been such a long day. I'm in the process of doing one of the rooms at the moment. So I'm doing a deep clean before I put up some decorations in that room as well. But I am just so tired all the time. Yikes! But it does look nice and it feels great when it's been done. So I'm going to cut this extremely short. Oh, I meant to mention, I was re-listening to the one I did yesterday, and there were a couple of people I left off. I mean, I've left off probably a bunch of people, but there's a family that has been more than friends, who have been colleagues, who have been thick and thin, and kept me happily entertained. We would every Sunday morning we'd get together for coffee via Zoom or via Messenger or however we were going to do it, before I knew about Ecamm, of course. And we would do one week they would do a little quiz on musicals or on American things or British terms or whatever. And then the next week I would do 10 questions on, and we'd just have a nice chat. Now, Anne and Peter are both musicians as well, and wonderful teachers, but fine musicians in their own right. Anne and I used to do, when her kids were little, and they're all grown up now, and one of them has grandchild, so has her grandchild. He isn't a grandchild, but their grandparents now. Is that we used to go shopping together, and people used to think that we were sisters, even though quite clearly I have an American accent and her British accent is pretty strong as well. But because we both had short hair, yes, this is not normal hasn't been normal for me for quite a while. And because we both had red hair and it was cut in a similar ways, people used to think that we were sisters. So, but that was always a nice thing to think of. Their son is a chef and a pastry chef. Yum. And I've seen the kids grow up, and they are both delightful young people. And their daughter is Sophie, who is also a wonderful actress and is working in schools as well. So they have really varied and I think a nice family life. And he got married recently, so they have a little girl as well, and this will be probably the first Christmas that she is really understands what Christmas is kind of about. Just saw a lovely picture of them on the screen on Facebook recently of their first nativity play, which of course is one of the things that's about to start everywhere in the known universe, is nativity plays. I love nativity plays. I love pantomime, which is not quite pantomime season yet, but it's getting there. It's really more carol season. Friends of mine went to a really interesting concert with some medieval players. Looked a little pagan for the church that they were doing it in, but it looked like a really interesting concert, and program looked fun. So it's that time of the year. Unexpected things come up. People come up, and you're baking. Oh, I have so many baking books and recipe books and cookbooks, and I suspect you do too. So as you go and bake something or make something for the holidays that you really, really love, and part of mine will be blue cheese dip because I love it. And I only make it maybe 2 or 3 times a year, but only for special occasions, as it were. So enjoy the season as it comes up. enjoy your mulled wine. If you get a chance to have a roasted chestnut, take it. And they feel so yummy in your pockets when it's cold. And, oh, I think perhaps to sign off, before we open the Duckie Advent Calendar, I'll just say, happy 7 sleeps till Christmas. Oh, yes. Oh, I think the cough could be, that could be the cure or the kill. Who knows? Here we go. Let's have a look at the Duckie box and see what's inside. And here we go. Opening day 18. I'm just going to open it up and let's see what's inside. Oh, how did that get over there? That wasn't from me. Oh, that was from yesterday. Those new ducky ears. So I guess we don't get anything today. So we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more days of duckies. So I will see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.